Yes, I said $1 million. And it's an ordinary Lincoln penny from 1985, no mint mark, perfectly normal at first glance, yet hiding a secret that collectors are desperate to find. Imagine walking past a coin on the street or digging through your change and realizing the very coin in your hand could change your life forever. That's exactly what this 1985 no mint mark penny represents, a quiet treasure hiding in plain sight, waiting for the one person who recognizes its true value. The story begins decades ago. In 1985, the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies, most indistinguishable from one another. But somewhere along the way, a small batch emerged with a rare anomaly. A tiny detail, barely noticeable, but significant enough that collectors today would pay a fortune, literally $1 million, to hold one. These pennies didn't come with a fanfare. They were slipped into circulation like any other coin, yet their rarity and perfection make them priceless. The answer lies in the story of scarcity and error. These coins escaped the production process in a way that created an almost flawless specimen. No mint mark, pristine detail, sharp features on Lincoln's face, crisp lettering, every aspect intact. That tiny absence of a mint mark makes the difference between a common penny and a coin worth a fortune. Now, let's pause and picture it. You're at a flea market, rummaging through old jars of change. Most of the coins are dull, worn down, ordinary. Then your eyes catch a glint. You pick up a 1985 penny, study it closely, and notice it has no mint mark. Your heart starts racing because you remember hearing stories like this. Stories of ordinary coins transformed into million-dollar treasures. 1985. Next, look just above the date on the front of the coin. No D for Denver, no P for Philadelphia, just the date and Lincoln's profile staring back at you. Third, inspect the coin's condition. Any scratches, bends, or corrosion dramatically reduce its value. The higher the grade, the closer it gets to that million-dollar mark. Collectors call this a gem-quality coin, and that's exactly what you're looking for. Every time someone finds one of these pennies, the story spreads like wildfire. Imagine being that person, the call from a dealer, the excitement in your voice, realizing that a coin you overlooked, a coin you thought was worthless, is suddenly a life-changing treasure. A single penny transforming your life overnight. But here's the catch. These pennies are so rare that many collectors spend years chasing them, checking change at stores, banks, and even dumpsters. Some find nothing. Some find coins that look similar but fall short. Only a very small number are genuine 1985 no mint mark pennies in pristine condition, the ones worth $1 million. Think about it for a moment. Something as small as a penny, something we handle every day, has the power to completely rewrite your story. For decades, people ignored them, spent them without a second thought, and now, for the select few who know what to look for, they hold unimaginable value. It's a reminder that treasures can appear where we least expect them. Look closely at the coins you handle every day. Don't dismiss a penny as worthless. Check the date. Check for a mint mark. This tiny coin could be the difference between a routine day and a life-changing moment. Collectors often tell tales of heart-stopping discoveries. One minute, they're sorting through a dusty box of old coins. The next, they hold a piece of history that's worth over $1 million. The thrill, the suspense, the disbelief. It's all part of the journey of finding a coin that was never meant to stand out, yet now shines brighter than anything else in the room. And here's something even more incredible. You don't have to travel the world searching for this coin. It could already be in your home, in your change jar, in an old wallet, tucked away in a forgotten corner. Millions of ordinary pennies were produced in 1985, but only a few have no mint mark and meet the exacting standards of collectors. Those pennies are priceless. Every 30 seconds, someone somewhere is holding a 1985 penny, unaware of the hidden value beneath their fingertips. Could it be you? Could the next discovery happen while you're just sorting through coins to pay for your morning coffee? The odds are small, but for those who find one, the reward is life-altering.so. Take a breath and imagine the possibilities. A single coin, ordinary in appearance, extraordinary in value. The suspense of the hunt, the history behind it, the adrenaline of realizing what you've found. And then the realization hits. This exact penny could be sitting in your drawer right now, and it's worth over $1 million. But what if I told you that one of those ordinary pennies could be worth over $1 million? That's right. A single 1976 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is hiding in plain sight, and collectors are going crazy trying to find it. Something we overlook every day, suddenly becoming a treasure that could change someone's life forever. But history has a way of hiding secrets in the smallest places, and this penny has a story that will blow your mind. Back in 1976, the United States celebrated its bicentennial. Special coins were struck to mark 200 years of freedom, but one tiny mistake went unnoticed. A mistake that would later turn an ordinary penny into a collector's dream worth $1 million. Most people never saw it, and even fewer recognized its potential. The mystery begins with the mint mark, a small D stamped near Lincoln's shoulder. At first glance, it's just a letter, almost invisible unless you know exactly where to look. But for this rare penny, that D carries a hidden anomaly, a subtle imperfection that makes it one of the most sought-after coins in the world. Collectors have spent decades hunting for this coin, combing through rolls of pennies, sorting through jars, and examining every coin with magnifying glasses. Imagine the thrill of holding one in your hand, knowing it could be worth over $1 million. That's the kind of excitement that makes a lifelong hobby feel like a treasure hunt. Now, let me show you how to identify this penny. First, check the date, 1976. Then, locate the mint mark. It's a D for the Denver Mint. But the magic is in the details. The mint mark may be slightly off-center, doubled, or show a faint crack. It's almost imperceptible, but for those who know, this is the key. Hold it up to the light, examine the surface, and look for anything unusual near Lincoln's shoulder. That subtle imperfection is what makes this coin worth millions. The story of this penny isn't just about money. It's about history. Imagine the hands that held it before you, the moments it witnessed, the journey from a mint in Denver to a collector's drawer. Every scratch, every shine, tells a story that's almost as valuable as the coin itself, and the suspense doesn't end there. Experts warn that finding this penny is not easy. For every 1,000 pennies you check, maybe only one has this rare mint mark anomaly. That's why it's so thrilling. The chance that a coin sitting in your change jar could be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Collectors who've found it often describe an almost emotional experience. Disbelief, joy, and an adrenaline rush that's impossible to describe. Holding a coin worth $1 million, knowing it could completely change your life, is something most of us can only dream about. This penny is copper, not the copper-plated zinc that became common later. Its weight, color, and the sound it makes when dropped can sometimes help experienced collectors identify it without even looking at the mint mark closely. It's about developing that eye, that intuition, and patience that makes coin collecting so addictive. Imagine telling your friends that you found a penny worth more than their car, their vacation, or even their house. That's the reality for those who've discovered this rare 1976 D Lincoln penny. And yet, most people walk past it every day, never knowing its true value. The allure of this penny isn't just financial. It's the story of discovery, the thrill of possibility, and the chance to connect with history in a tangible way. Every roll of pennies you check could hold the secret to millions, waiting quietly for someone who knows what to look for. Coins are hiding in the most ordinary places. A drawer, a jar, even the change in your car. The key is knowing what to look for and having the patience to search. This is not a fantasy. This is real. Collectors have paid, held, and marveled at this coin, and now it's your turn to learn how to find it. Look closely at every 1976 penny with a D mint mark. Study the anomalies. Trust your instincts. The thrill of discovery is waiting. One small coin, forgotten in a jar, lost in your pocket, or buried in your drawer, could completely change your life. That coin exists, and it's hiding in plain sight. The 1989 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. Most people overlook pennies every single day. They see them as pocket change, as nothing more than a small inconvenience when they drop on the floor. But in 1989, something incredible happened. A rare minting error created a Lincoln penny that is now worth a staggering $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny can be worth $1.6 million. And the best part? It might already be in your possession. The story begins with the United States Mint. In 1989, millions of pennies rolled off the press, destined for wallets, cash registers, and coin jars across the country. But in a small, almost imperceptible batch, something went wrong. The mint mark that should have declared where the coin was made simply never appeared. No D, no P, just Lincoln staring back at you. What might seem like a tiny omission was actually a mistake so rare that it has become the holy grail for coin collectors. Wrong. In the world of coin collecting, rarity drives value. And this penny isn't just rare, it's practically one of a kind. Only a few of these no-mint mark 1989 pennies exist, and collectors have paid unbelievable amounts to get their hands on them. We're talking million-dollar figures. People have spent years searching, traveling across the country, and scouring coin collections, all hoping to stumble across this elusive treasure. Here's the emotional part. Imagine being the person who finds it. The thrill, the disbelief, the heart pounding as you realize you're holding a piece of history, a coin that could instantly turn your life upside down. Some collectors describe it as a mix of excitement and pure shock, because in that moment, a simple coin becomes so much more than just metal. It becomes a ticket to financial freedom, a story you'll tell for the rest of your life, and the kind of discovery that makes every minute of searching worth it. The first thing to check is the mint mark, or in this case, the absence of one. A true 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny will have no D or P under the date. It will look almost identical to a regular penny at first glance, but the missing mark sets it apart. That small detail is everything. Next, examine the condition. These pennies are rare, but their value skyrockets when they're well preserved. Crisp details on Lincoln's face, sharp edges, and a clean surface can push the value into the millions. Even slight wear can make a difference, so handling the coin carefully is essential. Collectors also look for subtle variations in color and texture. Some 1989 no-mint mark pennies have a slightly different shine, a hint of luster that sets them apart from the standard issue. Holding one, you can almost feel the history embedded in the metal. The presses, the mint workers, and that one small mistake that turned a common coin into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. You might be wondering how anyone can find one today. The truth is, it's rare, but not impossible. Check your old coin jars, those loose pennies hiding in drawers, or the coins passed down from relatives. Many people find them completely by accident. One collector even discovered a 1989 no-mint mark penny tucked away in a dusty tin he'd had since childhood. It sat unnoticed for decades before it was identified, and that single coin turned into a million-dollar discovery. Every time you search, every coin you examine, the suspense builds. Could the next penny you pick up be the one? That feeling, that heartbeat pause as you inspect the coin, is part of the magic. Collectors live for that moment, the instant when a coin reveals its hidden value. Even if you're not a collector, there's a lesson here. Sometimes the most valuable things are hiding where you least expect them. A small detail, a tiny imperfection, or a missing mark can change everything. That's why learning to identify the 1989 no-mint mark penny is so important. Here's a tip. Use a magnifying glass. Look closely at the area under the date. If there is no D or P, you might be holding something extraordinary. Compare it to other 1989 pennies you find. Even subtle differences can be the clue that separates a common coin from a multi-million-dollar treasure. Remember, rarity is everything. There are millions of 1989 pennies in circulation, but only a few of the no-mint mark variety exist. That scarcity is what drives the million-dollar price tag. And when you think about it, it's incredible. Something that seems so small, so ordinary, can hold such enormous value. Some collectors have spent years chasing coins like this, traveling from city to city, attending coin shows, visiting dealers, and combing through countless collections. And yet, the coin is not always in the hands of experts. Many of these no-mint mark pennies have been found by ordinary people, completely by accident. That's what makes this coin story so thrilling. Anyone could stumble across it, including you. Now, imagine the possibilities if you find one. The life-changing moment when you realize the coin in your hand is worth more than most people will earn in a lifetime. That's the power of the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. It's not just about money. It's about history, excitement, and the dream that something incredible could be hiding in your pocket change. And remember, there's no formula or guarantee, only awareness and vigilance. Every penny you examine is a potential opportunity. Every drawer, jar, or box could be hiding a treasure waiting to be discovered. That's why collectors obsess over details, study coins for hours, and never dismiss even the most ordinary-looking penny. Because sometimes, the extraordinary is disguised as ordinary. The story of the 1989 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is not just about a coin. It's about the thrill of discovery. It's about dreaming big, keeping your eyes open, and never underestimating the power of what you hold in your hand. One small mistake at the mint created a coin that could change lives, and that's why collectors are obsessed. That is why they search relentlessly. That is why the coin is worth over $1 million. The next time you dig through a jar of pennies or find an old coin while cleaning, pause. Look closely. Check under the date. Study the edges, the shine, the details. You might be closer than you think to one of the most incredible finds in coin collecting history. But what if I told you that among those ordinary pennies, one from 1977, with a D mint mark, could be hiding a staggering fortune worth $1.7 million? You might think I'm exaggerating. I'm not. This isn't a story about rare gold coins or hidden treasures in the attic. This is about a penny, a tiny piece of copper that could transform someone's life overnight. The story of the 1977 D Lincoln penny begins with a small mistake. Back in 1977, the Denver Mint produced millions of pennies for circulation, most of them perfectly normal. But in a handful of cases, something extraordinary happened. A minting error occurred, one that went unnoticed for decades, until collectors began noticing subtle but critical differences. This mistake turned a simple penny into a potential million-dollar treasure. Imagine for a moment a person like you, someone sorting through their change, or maybe inheriting a jar of old coins from a parent or grandparent. They spot a penny that looks just a little different. Maybe the details on Lincoln's bust seem sharper, or the lettering more pronounced. That's where the mystery begins, a mystery that could lead to unimaginable wealth. Experts have traced it to a rare die variety. Essentially, the tools used to strike this coin had tiny, almost invisible imperfections. And when these imperfections hit the blank coin, they created a version unlike any other in circulation. Most people would dismiss it as a normal penny. But collectors, seasoned collectors, recognize it instantly. They see the potential to own a coin that could sell for over $1 million, that it's not just the rarity. It's the story behind the coin. Imagine the Denver Mint humming with activity, employees pressing coins by the millions, unaware that a handful of these pennies would one day ignite a frenzy in the coin-collecting world. It's a reminder that sometimes history hides in the smallest places, even in your pocket change. First, check the mint mark. The D mint mark, located below the date, tells you it came from Denver. That's the starting point. Next, study the fine details of Lincoln's profile. Look closely at the lines in his coat, the rim of the coin, and the letters in Liberty. Collectors have documented subtle markers, slightly doubled letters, deeper impressions, and a certain sharpness in the date. These markers aren't obvious to the untrained eye, but once you know what to look for, the coin practically calls out to you. Every minute you spend looking at your coins, imagine the possibilities. Picture holding that rare 1977 D Lincoln penny and realizing its true value, a value that could change your life. Some collectors have spent years searching, digging through rolls of pennies, sorting through jars, all for a chance at this single coin. And for those who find it, the reward is more than just financial. It's the thrill of discovery, the joy of holding a piece of history that very few will ever see. Now, you might wonder why only a few coins exist. The answer lies in the nature of minting errors. They are unpredictable. Millions of pennies were struck correctly, perfectly ordinary, while only a handful carry the mistake that turns them into treasures. And because of this rarity, demand among collectors is enormous. Auctions have seen these coins reach eye-watering amounts, and private collectors would pay a fortune to own one. In fact, some have been known to pay more than $1 million to get their hands on a genuine example. Let's reset for a moment and imagine the scene. You're at a flea market, maybe browsing an old coin lot, or you're cleaning out a drawer filled with coins from decades past. Your fingers brush over something that feels slightly different, something heavier, sharper. Your heart races because you remember the stories you've heard about the 1977 D Lincoln penny. It's important to be meticulous. Check the coin under a magnifying glass. Compare it to verified examples online or in collector guides. Every small detail matters. The spacing of letters, the depth of the date, even the way Lincoln's features appear under close scrutiny. One small detail can mean the difference between an ordinary penny and a piece worth millions. That the thrill of the search is just as much a part of the story as the value itself. For collectors, every roll of pennies is a new adventure. Every jar of coins could be hiding the one that will make headlines. And in a world where rare coins are sought after by passionate enthusiasts, finding a 1977 Lincoln penny is like discovering a hidden treasure chest buried in plain sight. Imagine the calls, the messages, the excitement. Suddenly, your life changes. You're no longer just a collector. You're the person who held history in your hand, the one who discovered a coin that defied the odds. And that story, your story, becomes part of the coin's journey, adding to its value in ways money alone can't measure. The 1977 Lincoln penny is a reminder of possibility. It reminds us that sometimes wealth isn't hidden in secret vaults or treasure maps. Sometimes it's in the ordinary, waiting for someone to notice, to recognize its uniqueness, and to appreciate its story. It's proof that history, chance, and a keen eye can intersect to create something extraordinary. As you sift through your coins, keep your mind sharp and your heart open. Study the mint mark, examine the details, trust your instincts. Because among the ordinary, there is the extraordinary. Among the pennies you handle every day, there might be one that holds unimaginable value. And when you find it, the moment is unforgettable. But a seemingly ordinary 2014 Lincoln penny, a coin that, if it's the right one, could be worth an astonishing $1.8 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. One coin, one small piece of copper and zinc, hiding in plain sight, holding the power to make $1 million dream a reality. Most people see pennies as nothing more than loose change, the coins you toss into a jar or leave in the couch cushions. But among these ordinary pennies lurks a rare, almost mystical version of the 2014 Lincoln penny, a coin so unusual, so overlooked, that collectors have been searching for it like treasure hunters for years. The story of this coin begins not in a mint, but in a series of tiny errors, imperfections, and anomalies that make it extraordinarily valuable. It's subtle, but crucial. The minting process in 2014 produced a very small number of pennies with a distinct anomaly, a double die on the obverse, creating a shadow effect on Lincoln's shoulder and cheek. To the untrained eye, it looks normal, but once you see it, it's impossible to miss. Coins like these are rare, and rarity is the heartbeat of million-dollar value in coin collecting. Imagine the thrill of holding a coin and realizing it's not just copper. It's history, it's rarity, it's potential fortune. Every line on Lincoln's face, every detail of the wheat stalks on the reverse, might be the very detail that makes this penny the one that collectors are willing to pay over $1 million for. And here's the shocking part. There are only a handful of verified examples out there, making each one a nearly priceless treasure. Now, how do you know if the penny in your hand is this incredibly rare 2014 First, you need good lighting and a magnifying glass. Look closely at the obverse. Do you see a doubling of Lincoln's shoulder or the area around the date? This is not a smudge or a scratch. It's a precise doubling, a ghostly echo of the original strike, a tiny fingerprint of history. This small anomaly is what transforms a humble penny into a collector's dream. The emotional story of this coin doesn't end with its discovery. Picture a man, or perhaps a woman, who finds this coin in a jar, in their wallet, or hidden in a stack of coins from a relative. The shock, the disbelief, the rising heartbeat. They hold in their hand a coin worth enough to completely transform their life. Imagine the life-changing conversations, the plans, the dreams suddenly possible because of a single coin. One moment, it's ordinary. The next, it's extraordinary. Collectors and experts are fascinated not only by its rarity, but by the story of how it slipped through the cracks. It wasn't hoarded in a bank vault or tucked away in a coin collection. It was minted, released, and spent, just like any other penny. And that is why it's so thrilling. This coin has a mysterious, almost secretive journey, a history as unpredictable as the twists of fate itself. Now, let's reset your attention because here's where things get even more fascinating. This coin is tiny, yet its value is astronomical. Over $1.8 million has been paid for examples of this penny. The very idea that such wealth could hide in something so small, so common-looking, is almost impossible to grasp. Every coin collector dreams of this moment. The moment you pick up a coin and realize that fortune is literally in your hands. But it's not just about luck. Identifying this penny requires patience, careful observation, and knowledge. Look at the letters of Liberty and the date. On a rare 2014 D, these letters appear slightly doubled, almost as if echoed. The eyes trained to notice these anomalies are the eyes that spot the million-dollar potential. With practice, what seems invisible to most becomes obvious to you. Imagine the suspense, the thrill, the tension of sorting through a jar of pennies and finding that one coin that makes your heart skip a beat. It's the modern-day equivalent of discovering buried treasure in your own home. Every ordinary penny could be hiding something extraordinary, waiting for the right moment to reveal its secret. And here's the emotional punch. This coin is not just a collector's item. It represents hope, possibility, and the undeniable allure of hidden wealth. A single penny could bridge the gap between ordinary life and unimaginable opportunity. Imagine walking into a coin shop, casually asking to have your pennies checked, and discovering a coin that instantly makes you a millionaire. Experts have spent years tracing the origins of these rare 2014 D Lincoln pennies, studying the minting anomalies, and tracking verified sales. The fascination isn't just financial, it's almost spiritual. This coin represents a rare alignment of chance, history, and human curiosity. It's a symbol that even in the mundane, there can be miracles. Every coin you handle has a history, a journey, and potentially, a hidden story waiting to be told. The 2014 D Lincoln penny is a reminder that extraordinary fortune can come from the most ordinary places. That penny in your drawer, the one you thought was just spare change, might just be the treasure that turns a dream into reality. So, take the time to look closely, study the details, and never underestimate the power of small things. In the world of coin collecting, the difference between ordinary and priceless can be the width of a line, the echo of a die, or the rarest minting anomaly. And one day, that discovery could change your life forever. But what if I told you that tucked away in your pocket, in your drawer, or even in that old jar of pennies, is a coin worth over $1 million? That's right. A 2007 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could turn a simple discovery into life-changing fortune. And most collectors have no idea it even exists. That it all starts with a mystery, a secret hidden in plain sight. Most people think a 2007 penny is just another modern coin, something you hand over at the store without a second thought. But behind this ordinary facade lies a story of rarity, of production quirks at the U.S. Mint, that created a coin so scarce it could literally change your life overnight. A quiet day at the Mint, machines clanging, coins rolling off the presses, and somehow, a handful of pennies escape with no mint mark at all. No P for Philadelphia, no D for Denver. Just pure, unmarked copper. For decades, collectors and casual spenders alike passed them by, oblivious. And now, one of those pennies could be in your hand right now. To understand why this coin is so valuable, you have to grasp the tiny imperfection that makes it extraordinary. Every penny normally has a mint mark, but this one slipped through the system. It's as if fate itself decided to create a coin with a story, a coin that would eventually capture the attention of million-dollar collectors around the world. 2007. Next, the absence of a mint mark on the obverse, right under the year. Hold it up, examine it carefully. Compare it to other pennies from the same year. If that tiny letter P or D is missing, you may be holding something extraordinary. And don't be fooled by wear or dirt. Even a slightly worn coin can be worth a fortune if it's authentic. The value of this coin isn't just in its scarcity. It's in the story it tells. Imagine a coin that survived decades of circulation, that escaped millions of eyes, and now rests in the hands of someone who recognizes its true potential. The thrill, the shock, the anticipation, that's what draws collectors from across the country, hoping to uncover a hidden treasure worth over $1 million. The answer is simple: rarity combined with demand. Collectors will pay anything for a coin that defies the ordinary. And this 2007 penny does exactly that. It's not flashy, it doesn't shout its value, but its significance is monumental. Let's reset for a moment and consider the emotional impact. Picture discovering this penny while counting change for your morning coffee. Heart racing, hands trembling, realizing that what seemed like a worthless piece of copper is suddenly $1 million opportunity. That is the power of this coin, the power to change lives in a single moment. Experts estimate that only a tiny fraction of these no-mint mark pennies exist. Most of them have been lost, spent, or hidden away unknowingly. Every time a new one surfaces, the excitement spreads like wildfire through the coin collecting community. People are willing to travel, pay huge sums, and even bid against one another for a chance to own a single piece of history. If you're serious about finding one, there's a method to the madness. Search through rolls of pennies from 2007. Check your loose change. Inspect collections handed down through generations. Look carefully under good lighting and always double-check with a magnifying glass. That one subtle missing mint mark could be the key to unlocking a fortune. The suspense doesn't end there. Many who have found these coins describe a rush unlike anything else. A sudden connection to history, to a hidden secret that was lying in plain sight all along. It's not just a coin. It's a symbol of opportunity, proof that even the smallest object can hold unimaginable value. Collectors who stumble upon these pennies are often overwhelmed by disbelief. Could a simple 2007 Lincoln penny really be worth over $1 million? The answer is yes. But the most important part isn't the money. It's the thrill of discovery, the realization that you could be holding something the world has overlooked, something others would give anything to own. Let's take a closer look at how to confirm authenticity. Compare it to known authentic 2007 pennies. Check the weight, the edge, the exact placement of Lincoln's image, and the date. Professionals often use grading tools to certify it, but the first step is your own careful inspection. Attention to detail can mean the difference between a common penny and a life-changing treasure. Every discovery story has a turning point. Maybe you find it while cleaning an old drawer, maybe at a garage sale, or maybe after a simple count of your pocket change. The moment you realize you're holding a no-mint mark 2007 penny, everything changes. Suddenly, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and the ordinary routine of life transforms into a story worth telling for generations. This coin is more than just copper and metal. It's hope, excitement, and the proof that treasures still exist in the most unlikely places. It reminds us that sometimes what's right in front of our eyes holds secrets beyond imagination. And if you're looking for a sign to search your pennies, this is it. The universe might just be waiting to reward your patience, your curiosity, and your persistence. Collectors across the country are hunting for these coins right now, hoping to be the next person to unlock a life-changing discovery. Every time a penny is examined under a magnifying glass, every time a collector double-checks a roll of coins, history is being rewritten. Because rare coins like this have a way of reminding us that fortune favors the vigilant and the lucky, you may have walked past these pennies hundreds of times, never suspecting the hidden power they hold. And yet, with a careful eye and a bit of patience, you could be the one to uncover a modern treasure that could instantly become worth over $1 million. Think about it. Millions of coins in circulation, almost all ordinary. But a handful escape the system. And that handful carries with it the potential to change the life of whoever discovers it. Every glance at a penny could be the moment of a lifetime. Every moment you decide to look is a chance to rewrite your story. Time is short for some collectors, and the market is only growing. The rarity, the excitement, the potential, all of it is drawing attention. Those who find these coins are not just collecting. They're claiming history, claiming the thrill of an impossible discovery. And the best part? It could happen to you. The date 2007 and no mint mark under the year. Examine it carefully, and if it matches, you might be holding a coin that thousands of collectors would give anything to possess.